Joining us now, the former governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, a Republican who ran for president in 2016. Mr. Walker, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Absolutely. Let's dive on in. You know, I've got some questions for you, and I know you have plenty of answers. Governor, how surprised are you that these third-party candidates may prove to be a game changer in Wisconsin?
Well, I think it's right on target. You know, in 2016, Donald Trump carried the state of Wisconsin by just a few thousand votes over Hillary Clinton. At that time, Jill Stein was, as she is this time as well, a third-party candidate for the Green Party. And many people feel the margin that went her way of people who just, weren't satisfied that Hillary was liberal enough might have been the difference maker. In 2020, you didn't see that kind of an impact. And of course, by a few thousand votes, Joe Biden won. So in this case, I think there's clearly a combination of maybe some suburban voters who didn't like former President Trump's tone and mistakenly thought that Joe Biden would be able to work with both parties. Now they're upset about the economy. Third party gives them an alternative. And as we've seen lately, particularly with a lot of young people on the radical side, someone like Kennedy or West or Stein gives them an option. And in a state where out of nearly 6 million people, a few thousand votes are the difference, that could be the key, not just to winning Wisconsin, but carrying the presidency.
A state with 6 million people, and Mr. Walker, we know Wisconsinites are hardworking people who are often excited about the idea of new jobs coming into the area, of which we're talking about President Biden. He was just in Wisconsin talking about the new plant that he'd like to have built there. Former President Trump had also been campaigning in the Badger State. Now with the polls showing these two essentially tied, what do you believe will be the deciding factors for voters there?
Well, I think there's three key things. It's high prices, it's border security, and it's overall public safety. And if it's a referendum on those three, Joe Biden loses. We had the first 2 months of this year over 100% increase in layoffs in the state of Wisconsin. People get it that Bidenomics is not working. When you see massive increases in cost for gas, for food, for just living expenses, things like paying a mortgage or paying for rent, those are all really, really big challenges. And interesting enough, at Young America's Foundation, where I'm the president, the poll we did recently of college students showed their number one issue is the economy. That was a key voting block 4 years ago for Joe Biden. If he's losing on that issue because their number one concern is the economy, he's in real trouble, not only in Wisconsin, but I think in other key battleground states.
And usually when we talk about high prices in the economy, that's usually something that focuses on seniors. But like you said, we're seeing more young people talk about that. Mr. Governor, I actually heard someone say once that Mr. Biden may be bringing down inflation. That may be good, but I need prices to go down. So there seems to be a disconnect with the administration.
There really is. A lot of times when I'm on panels with other commentators from Washington or New York, and they'll say, well, the stock market's better, GDP's up. So, but that doesn't matter. If I go to Quick Trip or any other place around here in Wisconsin, and it costs more to fill up my pump, or it costs more to buy groceries, that's something you really feel an impact on. Good example, I've got my youngest son and his wife, newlyweds, trying to buy their first home. They're paying more than $1,000 more each month for their mortgage than they would have paid 4 years ago under Donald Trump. That's real money, and that's something that no spin in the world is going to change.
And you and I both know all young people want to have their own place at some point and move out of their parents' home. So it's a punch in the gut when they just don't have the money and resources to do that. Governor, I have one more question for you. I want to get your thoughts on former House Speaker Paul Ryan, also of Wisconsin, coming out saying that he will not vote for former President Trump. What do you make of his anti-endorsement?
Well, Paul's a friend of mine. I've known him since we were young people out there, but I just disagree with him on this. I think this is a fundamental choice. You don't have to agree with every bit of the way that former President Trump talks or acts, but in the end, he delivers. He got things done for 4 years. We had tremendous success. Inflation was less than 1.5% when he left. We had some of the highest levels of employment, particularly for African American and Hispanic workers and for young people. It's been a night and day difference. And I think anything that leads to Joe Biden being reelected is really a downside, not only for people here in Wisconsin, but all across the country. We see the mess. We can't afford 4 more years of Joe Biden, that's for sure.
And Governor Walker, I want to extend an invitation to you to join us anytime you're in the area, here in the studio. We would love to have you as a guest.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.